You might be thinking that creating a budget is really easy and that doing it in your head is a possibility. But don't fall into this trap of thinking. Make sure that you have a pen and paper, an Excel document, or something similar so that you can keep records to look at down the line. So, step number 1 in creating a budget is to define your reason for doing one. Are you looking to purchase something in the future? Are you looking to get out of debt? Or are you getting prepared for moving out of home? Now, whatever the purpose may be, identifying it will help you to determine how lenient or how strict you have to be when planning future expenses. Step number 2, determine a period length that you want to focus on. For example, you might want to do a monthly, a quarterly, or an annual budget, and this depends entirely on you. There's no correct choice. Some people might choose monthly because they have regular expenses, and some might choose annually to fit in with the financial year that runs from the 1st of July to the 30th of June each year. Step 3, calculate the income for each given period. The most obvious form will include income from employment, but you may also want to include what you earn from bank interest or government benefits as well. When creating a budget, it's best to be conservative around estimating your income, perhaps slightly understating what you expect, so that your budget plan is prepared for possible events like illness or temporary unemployment. Step number 4, calculate your fixed expenses for each given period. So these are the expenses which, no matter what your financial situation, you can't really change them, or at least can only slightly adjust them. This might include food, drink, rent, and electricity bills. If you happen to have any debts as well, it's wise to incorporate principal and interest repayments into your budget's fixed expenses, until you become debt-free. Step 5, calculate your variable expenses for each given period. So these are the expenses which you are at liberty to adjust, and are non-essential to living. Examples could be jewelry, game consoles, or dining out at fancy restaurants. A quick tip around expenses is to be as specific in the detail as possible. This way you'll identify close to all of the possible expenses that you're likely to face. For example, don't just have entertainment as one single expense in your budget. Split this up into smaller categories like music albums, concerts, and movies. The more detailed you are, the more accurate your budget plan is likely to be. Cutting back on expenses can be a difficult task, but the trick is to be methodical. Rather than removing certain variable expenses, another option is to reduce what you currently spend for each item or service. This way, you can still enjoy a standard of living whilst meeting the goals of your budget. Step 6 is to calculate the difference between your income and your expenses, and then you'll arrive at your estimated savings for the period. And finally, we come to step 7, which is to create a plan for how you want to manage any savings that you might generate during the period. You may wish to save this money in a bank account, or perhaps invest this money if this is aligned with your future goals. So here they are, all together on one neat page. The 7 key steps that are involved in creating a budget. Take your time when making one, and eventually you'll be set for reaching your financial goals.